Hey, welcome to the DVB channel. Today we are talking another Union Arena TCG video, and it's between the JJK Yellow Gojo versus Bleach Purple Ichigo. So a while back, I think there was some great news for the Western players for the Union Arena as they officially announced the English Union Arena, and they are coming out in October 2024. Now the first three IPs that are going to be introduced are actually Bleach, Jujustu Kaisen, and Hunter Hunter. So what a coincidence for this fight video here. So without further ado, let's dive straight into the game itself as we do see the Bleach Purple actually going for the aggressive, pushing 1 damage already, and we do see the UG going for that main ability, giving him 3 energy this turn. So just going to go for the final and slapping 2 pandas as well as a Gojo in front line. Now this Gojo definitely is going to be very annoying and stops the aggressiveness that's coming out from the right player. The right player does have 2 Ichigos in the energy line right now, but he does have 3 APs for this turn. He's going to go for the AP draw one first, to have better hand, as he does go for the Aura Hime, dropping 2 cards from the top of the deck and going for the Bankai already, standing up 2 APs. Going to drop that Kisuke here to generate up to 5 energy in the energy line. And how will he actually use up that last AP? And he might actually consider wanting to remove that Gojo, but the Gojo does have an ability that requires the opponent to commit 1 more AP. Gonna go for the Bankai to actually eventually get potential away that Gojo, and that actually hurts quite a bit. But however, he actually can't go for the attack because of that Panda in the front line. Now we do have 3 AP for the left player here as he does go for the AP draw one. Next AP does go for that Nobara, and of course going for the Gojo from the foul set, pushing 1 damage and does hit into the Ichigo. Now this Ichigo does have 5 energy, or rather requires 5 energy to raid, but he does actually have 5 energy set up from the previous turn. He's going to raid it immediately on top of the Ichigo, and then going for the raid ability whereby you mill the top 2 cards of your deck. And of course, for every card you remove to the remove area, you're actually able to minus 500 on your opponent's card. Now given that it's pretty early in the game still, he does have only 6 cards and only able to remove that Panda from the front line, but however, it's still a pretty decent removal. Now the right player does go for the AP draw one and going for the Rukia, then actually going for the red Rukia, which does have a very strong ability, drawing 3 and discarding 2. Now he does cycle more into his deck and he's going to discard 2 right here, and he's going to start swinging with the 2 4K bodies, and he's going to further push the damage into the Gojo's life. The Rukia will swing first and we do hit the first damage. We do into the Nobara and just getting it to hand, nothing too much there. The Ichigo will swing here as well, hitting to another Nobara. Now it is what it is, because this is Union Arena TCG, you really need to hit something from your life. I was going to go for the AP here to go for that Shoko. Now Shoko allows you to look at top 4 to pick up the Gojo, Satoru, Geto, and of course herself. He does actually eventually pick up the Gojo here, discarding 1 for the cost, and then going for the 2 AP to go down the Gojo. Now Gojo allows you to draw 1 card, and the next time you use a card, you can actually minus 1 AP unless it's Gojo itself. He does go for that final. Very fitting for the Ryoki Tenkai here. Now he does have 2 extra AP to work with. It's going to use the first one as the Holo Purple to actually remove the Ichigo, and then for the last AP is going to drop down the Nobara in the front line. It's going to go for that swing with the Gojo Satoru. It's going to actually consider blocking the Rukia, because Rukia, when on deletion, you do actually mill 2 cards from the top of your deck. So that's very important because you're actually setting up your drop zone as an Ichigo player, and you really need that drop zone to remove big bodies such as Gojo, which is actually 5k. Now let's just go for the AP draw one here. If just 2 more APs in this turn, he's going to go for the Ichigo 1 cost, which allows him to look at top card. It doesn't decide to discard it, but let's go for the Ichigo here to remove the top 2 cards of his deck to actually pop off that Gojo once again. Man, with that Gojo once gone, he can actually block the upcoming 2 4k attacks with the right player, as he does go for the swing here, and we're going to push down to potentially 2 damage here. The first damage being Shoko, not doing too well, but the second one is actually Gojo himself, adding it to hand. This guarantees a play in the next turn, as he does go for that AP draw likely, because he wants to see more options in hand, and then going for that 2 AP card. Of course, in the form of Gojo, drawing 1. Just drawing to another Ryoki Tenkai, but I don't think he does have much to do. Just gonna drop that Maki here in front line to block the future attacks. You do hit into the Ichigo, adding into hand, nothing too much here, and just passing the turn. The right player does have 4 energy only in the back row, but he does have to deal with another Gojo, which is 5k body. Now he actually previously already used the AP draw 1 and then dropping the Ichigo here, and then finally the Rukia to use up all the AP for this turn. Not going to do too much here, and of course going to start swinging with the Ichigo and the Rukia, but however he does have the Gojo 5k, which is going to block the first attack very comfortably here, and the Rukia is going to be blocked by the Maki. Now Definitely, we can see the Gojo coming back for this turn as he does actually top deck into the Ghetto, and the Ghetto is definitely what is needed to actually make the Gojo from the file set even stronger, as he does drop it down, because when the Gojo does have Ghetto in the front line, it's the same line as him, he can actually gain double attack, or rather double damage, sorry, and the right players consider whether to take that 2 damage and just actually go for the 2 damage here. Still thinking about it, because you're gonna draw a Rukia, he's just going for the 2 damage. Does into the active trigger as well as draw 1, does give that Rukia another 3k power, and this prevents the Gojo from swinging, so this is pretty important. It does prevent him from dropping more lives as he does push out the Ichigo and then going for the Get Squad Tensho, which of course removes the Gojo very immediately and does have another one removing the Ghetto. So the left player is definitely on behind again, and let's go for the third Bankai I see in this game, going for the Ichigo in the backline and then going for the Ichigo raid from the ST. Now this ST does allow him to, if he wants to, banish 4 cards, which is just going to do so here, allowing him to draw 1, of course gaining impact 1, and this could be lethal if the right player does the attack pattern, right? He does go with the Rukia swing first, and the left player actually takes it straight away and does hit into the counter trigger, which is very promising because he does prevent the Ichigo with the impact 1 from attacking. Next 2 attacks will be blocked by the Gojo and of course the Nobara, and this will end the turn for the right player. Now the right player does hit into the color trigger, which prevents the Ichigo from swinging next turn. The left player, for him to actually win, he does need to see another Gojo, which we do see here, the third Gojo of the game, allowing to draw 1, and looks like doesn't really have, or rather remember the effect for the Gojo by just going to drop the Yuji. And to be fair, he doesn't really have much AP to do, or rather much valuable cards in the hand to actually perform any actions. So he's just going to swing with that Gojo once again, and it's going to be blocked by the 2.5k Ichigo. And this wraps up the left player's turn. Now, sometimes I feel Gojo deck is usually very slow because they don't actually have any raid targets to mess around with. However, they do have Gojo, which is actually a 5k body, and it's usually only removable by a special, but if the opponent does draw the special, you're in tough luck. Now the right player does go for that Ichigo skill, allowing him to banish 4 cards and of course drawing 1, gaining that impact 1. But however, we do still see the Gojo in front line, which is not getting answered this turn, unfortunately for the Gojo player, so he's able to block it comfortably as we do see the Yuji blocking the Rukia attack, the other Rukia swinging for the attack, draw 1, discounting 1, blocked by the other Gojo, and then of course finally blocked by the bigger Gojo here. Now the left player does have only 1 life to work with, while the right player does have 3 life, however the Gojo does have impact 1, so we might be able to see some sort of comeback from the left player after hitting that color trigger, which is beautiful in the life. Now we do see the Shoko actually pick up their 4th Gojo in the game, and I assume he does have the Ryuki Tenkai in his hand, which is basically the final. He's going to go for it and sending 2 AP, going to replace that Shoko here into the Gojo, allowing him to draw 1 card, and of course the next card will be discounted for 1 AP, and looks like he does have another Holo Purple which will remove that Ichigo, and the Gojo will start swinging for the first attack, hitting impact 1, and of course he's not going to block it. Next Gojo swings, and he's considering, he does eat it because it's definitely the final turn, because if you don't win in this turn, the 2 Gojos with the impact 1 will end the game in the next turn. So definitely want to see more live triggers from your hand. Let's go for the AP drawn and of course Rukia to see more into his cards. And I believe he's cycling deep into his Ichigo, which I think he actually hits it right here because he does great for the final Ichigo using 2 cards, and of course able, or rather allowing him to pop off that Gojo once again. So definitely a lot of special and a lot of Ichigos to remove that Gojo, and then Gojo is going to be finally defeated here as he does go for the swing. He's going to block with the first Gojo first, but the second Ichigo attack will not be blocked and hit into the Maki, and this wraps up the game. Now this is the Ichigo deck list if you guys are interested in. And on the other hand, we do have the Gojo deck list. Thank you guys for watching till the end, and do consider subscribing, dropping a like and a comment if you guys do enjoy the content.